instead of blame? Can you forgive instead of blame? I really believe, man, this is on my heart tonight. Typically, I don't go to churches and preach on relationships. They ask me to talk on relationships, but I think it's one of these kind of things that we need to talk a whole lot more about in church because the Bible actually has the answers. We just got to open up our ears and hear. Can you make a decision to say, I'm going to be a person who forgives instead of blames? Relationships only happen when people are quick to forgive. That's it. You got to make a decision. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison expecting that the other person is going to die. And in a relationship, unforgiveness, it always prevents you from the life that God has planned for you. You know, Don Shree and I, ever since we lived in South Florida, we've always lived in a loft. And our house is cool. It's like, literally, it's like one room, you know. People come over like, you want the tour? I'm like, yeah, spin around. There it is, you know. It's like your bedroom's right there, you know, and the kitchen's right there. We've always loved living in lofts, but what I didn't know is when we were kind of in our early years of marriage, that the loft created some principles for us that I think helped us get through so many different challenges. You see, when we were younger, we used to get into fights, and we don't really call them fights. We call them verbal jousts in my house. Call it passionate debating. I remember Don Shree, we used to get in these fights, and we'd be going back and forth, and finally we'd go, all right, I'm out of here. But in my house, there's not another room to go to. She's like, fine. She's like, fine. We're like, awesome. It's like, all right. But we're still in the exact same place. There was no place to retreat to. We had to look at each other and we had to solve the issue. Some of you in this place, you've got to make a decision to say, you know what? I'm going to choose to forgive. I'm going to love like I've never actually been hurt. Because when you forgive, it's actually you saying, you know what? I'm going to absorb the pain here. I'm going to absorb the blow here. But instead of blaming you, I'm going to choose to forgive. And as I forgive, I believe that's going to release us to walk into the future that we always dreamed. So many relationships in here, it's like you keep pulling out past mistakes and going, you always do this and you never do that. Let me just tell you, you don't get anywhere in a relationship with that type of attitude. You only get somewhere when you choose to forgive. Forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a choice.